parent of a Year 7 pupil in this school, and I've got 3 other children that I would want to come to this school. I think it's, I'll take what that lady said there, that this school hasn't had the leadership it should have had for a long time. But I think it is fair to say that a lot of Westlake, you wouldn't have Tuttons for when I was at school, when they put £2 million into it and it turned it round.
I am a parent of 5, and I just like to thank Mrs. Hayes, because she's helped me a long way. Only reason why is she's a brilliant woman, and she's helped this school I know of. None of mine come here, but I have got 3 what are due to come. I've got 2 what come next year, so hopefully I want this school to stay open just for that. And the simple fact is I can't afford to go or send them anywhere else. Not just that, I know what I've heard of Mrs. Hayes, how well this school has come. And personally, all these lot over here should really get together and do more of it. Just thank you.
I'm a parent of the head boy. Long time ago, met my wife here. Both came to this school. I've had 2 lads who's come through the school. According to the statistics, it came as the school started to fail. I'd just like to say that Joe being head boy makes me very proud. It's not only that, it's a community school. There's a lot of people. The pub landlord came to this school. The window cleaner came to this school. The shopkeepers came to this school. They stayed within the community. The playing fields. Does a, 14 to 19-year-old, do they require 3 football pitches, a rugby pitch, or will they be not required anymore? They are required by the community because they use Saturdays and Sundays. They'll be used every night of the week, if possible, during the summer. Let's hope there's not a smoke screen to put new houses for more families.
I'm a past pupil. I'm also the mother of a 5-year-old and an almost 2-year-old. I want to take specific issue with some of the things that were said during Wigan's presentation. The number of school places required, yes, it is lower in 2013, but just because of 1 year, you shouldn't close a school. The numbers they gave showed stats for the south and the east of the borough. If you look closer into the stats, you will see that Lowton and Goulburn will be running at an average 23% surplus of places. And schools in this side of the borough will be running at absolute maximum. There will be no more room at all. So to close a school just for 1 year's worth of low numbers, to me just seems absolutely ridiculous. In terms of the school standards, the school, as far as my understanding goes, has been underfunded for years. Also, looking at the statistics that Wigan gave, Wesley is on a par with Hesketh Fletcher as far as I can see. Also, parental preferences, yes, there were rumours of closures. The graph that was up there, parental preference for Hesketh Fletcher was higher in 2002, 2003 and 2004 from that. So it's only fallen below Wesley since 2005. That's just from looking at the graph on there. Again, the 14 to 19-year-old college that's proposed, as far as I can see, the only services that will be providing are already provided by Wigan and Leigh College anyway. And I'd rather that my children, at the age of 11, were staying within their own town, and then, when they're at
school, if I'm the next pupil, by the way, if you'd have seen my results, you'd say, give up on her. She's thick, literally. I even thought that. God, I can't do anything. And that was the attitude. If you asked me to do something, I said, I can't do it, it's too hard. That's all I had to say. But not Hesketh Fletcher, not the teachers, they weren't going to let me say that, no. It was Keely, you can do it. And it was Keely, try and do it. I mean, Mrs. Carter, how many times did I try and get my maths? And you stayed with me, and you said you can do it. We started that library, and you won't let me walk out. There was no walking out. You know, English, they put support in there for me. I had extra support. And what happened from that? I'm now a year away from getting a degree in social work. Which
I'm a former governor at Meadowbank Primary School, also a former governor at Lee College and Lee Technical College. I've got a 9-year-old daughter as well at Meadowbank School. Most of you have probably seen this document here, or some of you will have. Wigan Schools for the Future. I dug out my copy before I came. Schools admission, this is on the very first page. Wigan Schools for the Future will place schools at the heart of local communities. Who really believes that here? Because it's going to tear this school out of the heart of our community. And notwithstanding, I mean, a lot of points have been made that I would have probably raised myself earlier, is the economic impact of the closure of this school as well on the town. We've already estimated, it's in the submission that we've made, concerning the not just the cost of bus fares on people who can ill afford it at the moment of having to go out of town, but also the impact of all those £2 little pocket monies every day, of all those students over a 12-month period, add up to something like £250,000, leaving this town and going elsewhere during the day, which will result in more shops closing, more people losing their jobs in this area at a time when we're already economically depressed. If anything, this town requires more funding than other places because of its social deprivation. It's in the top 10% most deprived boroughs, Atherton certainly is, in the country. So it should be getting more funding, but the fact of the matter, it's been getting less funding. And if you actually take that into consideration, then you'll see actually they've not done quite bad in terms of the funding they've been given. Now, in terms of a solution to the problem, it strikes me, and I'm not a rocket scientist, but it strikes me if something doesn't work, fixing it might be a solution rather than shutting it down. And what we really need in this town, if this school is a failing school, which I suggest it isn't, then what we want to do is put something better in its place. Something that actually might attract folk from other towns to come here because it's such educationally high achieving. And that's what our town, I think, demands that we have. We're large enough an area, we can sustain it, and I'm sure that, you say, if we could get a school that was equalled any others in the borough and in the country, people would actually move into Atherton to get their kids to go to it.
I'd like to put on record my concern over the apparent local authority prejudice in as much as no faith schools will benefit from the BSF bid. The only mention is to close this one to satisfy the reduction in surplus places to benefit their schools.
I'm an ex-pupil, I've just left. People had a meeting with Wesley pupils and they asked them why they like to go to school. They said because there wasn't that many people who went to their school and they all knew each other as people rather than just another person walking past them in the corridor. If you put loads of people in a school, no one's going to know each other and no one's going to want to go and say hi to someone they don't know. Bullying's going to come in. Also, the most son was put in this school. If he thinks this school's good enough, why can't anybody else? A friend I made at college who went to Schools High School said to me today that their teachers wouldn't have said hi to them or anything in the corridor after they'd been in the lesson. They were just a teacher who was there to do the job. If you go to this high school and look around, any teacher who sees you in the street, no matter where, when or why, they're about to make a conversation and make you feel like the friend rather than just another pupil who's come through the school. They're here to do a job, and just look around you and you'll be able to see what you're going to affect. And even looking at me and the other pupil, look what they're doing to us. If they're going to do this to us now, what they're going to do to the rest of the pupils in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.